Hey everybody, it's your girl Urban Farm Sister. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified when I upload new videos. Hi, welcome to my channel. So today we're on episode 3 of A Garden on a Shelf, and I'm going to demonstrate to you how to put your plants into the system so you can get them growing. So let's get started. How you go about actually removing the plants from the gravel here. So the tomato plants are easy. They're already in the root plugs. You can see the roots coming out. This is a good indicator that it's time to put the plant into the system. They also have secondary leaves, which is what we're looking for. And I'm going to actually have to thin one of these out because there's 2 plants actually growing in here. But the other one is doing very well also. And it has it has roots coming out the bottom here. So that's what you want. You want roots to come out of the root plug. Now to harvest the ones that are in the gravel, it's a little different. So on this side we have the lettuce plants. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to take your hand and you're going to lift up and you're going to take a handful of the plants and gently kind of pull them apart. And you're going to let that gravel fall off of the roots. So what this allows you, it allows you to get the plants out of there. It allows you to remove the roots without actually damaging the plants very much. Now these should have probably been harvested a few days ago. They've been allowed to grow a little bit more, but it's okay. They'll still separate out. And so what you're going to do, you're just going to take the plants like this, and you're going to pull them out, and then I'm going to lay them over here on the table. Just pull the plants out of there. Just pull them out, and you have the roots. And you can see on the lettuce plants also, they have secondary leaves. These are the cotyledons right here. And then you have the roots down here. So these did very well. So you'll actually do the same thing with the kale. You'll pull them apart like this as well. But we're gonna plant those a little differently than what we're gonna do with the lettuce. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the plant and you're gonna stick the lettuce plant down into there. And you want to leave the little crown part at the top, right here where the leaves are coming out. You want to leave that exposed in the middle. And you want to have the roots dangling down here at the bottom. So this is what you're going to actually plant into the system. So you're just going to do all your plants like this with the grow grips. Now, you could have actually started the lettuce in the root plugs as well. But this allows you to use these particular things over and over again. So once this lettuce plant has, died, or once you're tired of letting it grow and you're tired of harvesting from it, you can just take that plant out of there, even though it may be a whole lot bigger, and you can reuse these grow grips. So again, you just take the plant, put it down in there, and it's done. Now for the kale, now to harvest the kale, we're going to do the same thing. I'm not going to harvest as many because I'm not ready to actually plant all of these yet. But you're going to take a handful of them and you're going to just kind of shake off the pebbles. And again, you're going to separate the plants out. There you have that one. And you're gonna have that. So for kale, we're actually going to use net pots. So you can start out with 2-inch net pots. Kale, you can actually go a little bit bigger and use 3-inch or 4-inch net pots. But they will grow in here, and I've grown plenty of kale using 2-inch net pots. It's just that the plant's going to get kind of big, and it can kind of, the roots eventually can bust through here. But I'm going to just show you how to go about this. So we're taking, these are called Hydroton. You can buy these online as well. And we're going to put a little bit in the bottom, and then we're going to take that kale plant and we're going to stick it down in there, and then we're going to fill it in with Hydroton around it. Now, with the kale, you could have also started them in the root plugs also. They do very well in root plugs. That's how I usually grow them. Either in the case of the lettuce that we grew these using the grow grips, or in the case of the kale, we're using the net pot with the Hydroton. Like I said, you can use any type of little stones. And then with the tomato plants, we're using the root plug. And so the root plug will actually sit down in here. And you can take Hydroton or stones or whatever, and you can fill around the tomato plant also. The reason that you're doing this is you're trying to keep light out of your system. So when this is in the water, you don't want light getting down into the water, because what that will do is cause algae growth. So what you're trying to do is minimize as much as much light as you possibly can getting down into your system, because you don't want algae and things growing in there or getting into there. Okay, so now we're going to show you how to go about putting these in the system. Okay, so this is the system we're going to use for the tomatoes. So I have some net pots already in here, and this is the system I actually sell if anybody's interested in purchasing it. Any of these kits, they usually start at $25, and they'll have everything you need to get started. So what you'll do, you'll add your water, you'll mix in your nutrients, and then you'll put your lid back on, and then you'll put your net pots in. So if it's for the tomatoes, you're going to put them on two opposite sides of each other, so they're not going to crowd each other as they start to grow. And you're going to leave these. You can actually either cover them with a tape or something, or whatever. You just want to make sure light's not getting into there. You can also even put more net cups with, say, like Hydroton in them, just no plants in them. But for the tomatoes, you want to make sure there's enough distance between the two. Now, these are called Tiny Tim tomatoes, so they're not going to get as big as, say, if you were growing a beefsteak tomato. These plants are only going to get about no more than 12 to 18 inches high, and they'll bush out a little bit. So the distance right here is good for them, so they won't crowd each other. Now, if you're going to actually grow the lettuce in the grow grips, you're going to have to use a tote that has, where you can actually drill those smaller holes using the drill and that bit that they will fit into. Okay, so this concludes this week's updates. If you're interested, I've posted some courses and things on my school website. The web address is kiwiproducefarm/school, and Kiwi is spelled Q-U-I-W-I, produce.farm/school.